So we're gonna record this part instead of stream it because I'm tired of failing at this part over and over and over again. So we're gonna get these seals in, we're gonna do it right, we're gonna do it off stream so I can just get this part done so that if something goes wrong, I don't have to just stop stream and stuff. So yeah, first thing is first is to get the rear seal on. So I have that now, and I should have the correct one. Should. Let's make sure this is still clean. There we go. We're going to add a little bit of oil in here to help it slide in. Grab the new seal. It's in the smush box, but it should be the right seal this time. Hopefully. Let's add a little bit of oil on the seal to help it slide in. Alright, so this should be the right size. So that fits so much better. Okay. I don't know if I said this on video yet, but I think this part is from a previous transmission that was in this car originally. And that transmission is from a different car entirely. There are multiple reasons why I think this, but what kind of just tipped me off was that this seal is a different size than what I've been ordering, because the seal I've been ordering is for a different transmission. It's for this transmission, but not this housing piece. So I ordered this seal, which fits this housing, but it's not supposed to fit that transmission. And other reasons are, like, you know, it was partially taken apart before. It had incorrect bracket stuff on it. It had wrong bolts in wrong places. It was missing a bolt, and all this stuff adds up to that it had been messed with before, but none of this seemed to have been messed with. It's just mostly this and that little plug there. What I'm thinking happened is someone decided to replace their 5-speed transmission with a 6-speed. And in order to keep the VIN number, which is stamped on the other side of this piece with a little plate, to keep the VIN number on the transmission, they swapped out just the back piece of it. So they put the 5-speed back piece on the 6-speed and they threw it in the car. This also would explain why the dealership I bought this from thought it was a 5-speed transmission, and they were sure of it. And I bought it off the lot thinking it was a 5-speed. I was not comfortable driving manual at the time, so I let my dad drive it home, and he was like, I think this is a 6-speed. And he switches over to 6, then it's a 6-speed. So that would explain a lot. That would also explain why it was missing a bolt out the side and had a little plug in it. It would explain why the person accepted a little bit of slop in it. So that would explain everything. That's my discovery, and I don't know. Yeah, so I'm going to try to tap this in. So problem is I'm not like hitting the right spot. So let's grab these bigger. I do not have big enough. Wow. This is a 36 and it's not big enough. Okay. I could very carefully. This is my only seal, and it was really hard to find for some reason. Had I known all this, I'd probably just kept the old one. Okay. Just going to very carefully. Nope. Really don't want to damage this one. I'd say that's pretty in there. That's all I wanted to do on this. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't have to go through all this trouble of getting the wrong part and smashing it, or another wrong part and it obviously not going in correctly, and then having the old part here damaged. No. I just needed the right part for the right job. And for this one, where was that box? Okay. So I'm guessing this part is for the 5-speed transmission, I would assume. And then this part would be for, what's the number? There's the number. This part would be for the 6-speed, if it had the right back. And these bolts are not the same, which makes me wonder if they damaged the thread on this. Yeah, probably, yeah. How do you, wow. It's an entirely different thread pitch. Oh, okay. You know what? Don't want to deal with fixing threads. Ideally, I would take this out, re-drill these holes, put those little thread thing bobs in there and get new hardware. But I'm not going to do that. So, unless I really need to. Cool. So you know what that means? I can finally start putting this back together. First, I'm going to prep some of the parts and clean them off. You know what? It's warm enough. I don't want to get this jacket all oily and stuff. Okay, well actually, hold up. Before I do this, and start stream for this, should I handle the front? Because this other seal is going to take a little bit of work. Ouch, to get right. Cool. Alright, so this piece. Honestly, the way that seal went in, it's not perfect, but it probably would have been fine. Before I take it out, let's double check, make sure these are even correct. That seems correct to me. Okay. So I got 2 of them in case I mess up again. Oh, what I should do is I'm gonna mark areas where it had the bubble issue. Okay. The reason I'm having this problem is because I damaged it when I was trying to install it with the wrong tool. There it goes. Got it. Okay. Now let's see if I can repair some of this damage, or minimize some of this damage. This file might be too coarse. I'm not getting the inside, I'm trying to get the lip only. That's gonna be really hard to get. I think a way I could tell was one of these. Yeah, this one barely fits in right. Let's try cleaning it off and carefully installing one, I guess. Can't push on the inside because it'll break it, and I can't push too far on the outside or else I mar everything else. So I think I can use this to press it in. Okay. Maybe I should just tap it in. Okay, so this really needs to go really down in there. Don't like this. If I can get it past that lip, I can use the socket. Getting there slowly. I don't think the shock is enough to push it through anymore. Press time. Let's bring it down so that it just barely makes contact. Fiddle around with this until I like where it is. Or I'm okay with where it is. Outside, and down slowly. Adjustments like that. It's going in. Went a little hard. Okay. Let's say that's in. That looks like it is actually in. Huh. Well, as long as this is not too damaged and everything goes together right, we should be good to keep moving forward. Finally. And that was a size 32 Craftsman CMMT 44245. It was part of this kit here. I found at Ace Hardware. So, in case you need something like that. But I'm gonna start stream, because I might as well. Or not, because I don't have network. Huh. Cable is just undone, so we should have internet in a minute here, I guess, and we'll get started. Okay, well, that's connecting and stuff. That might take a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning off some of this stuff. Cleaning stuff is not always the best content anyways, so might as well get this done now. I'm trying to remove rest from it sitting without any grease on it. Cool. Okay. Are we good to go? We're good to go. I think we're good to go. The plan is for today, reassemble as much of the transmission as possible, preferably the entire thing, so that it can sit and cure. I can't really install it yet, sorta, because I need to take that flywheel to a machine shop and have them resurface it. I did call a machine shop around town, and they said probably be about 85 bucks to get resurfaced. Ouch. But that is much cheaper than buying a new flywheel. The instructions say to resurface it. And another dread is getting this back up into the car with that exhaust still kind of in the way. So I'm really hoping I'm able to work around it, because I really don't want to remove those 3 bolts. Spray both mating surfaces, allow 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, assemble. Ah, that stuff's green. Interesting. Smells weird. And I'm gonna clean off some of it from the excess parts. All right, and then once that's ready to go, we put on some gasket stuff. Another thing, I wanted to put some high temp grease on the shaft itself, because that started to rust a little bit too. This is meant for like the splines. You just put a very small amount on everything because you don't want it slinging around. This is part of that clutch kit. I also want some of it down here so it doesn't rust. Okay. Add this to this. A very thin layer. The surface is a little bit more rough than the other. them down by hand. Or we can actually do it with the torque wrench now because I calibrated it recently. 0.7 to 15.8 foot-pounds, if I'm reading that right. Torquing those, and now I'm checking them by hand. I can't quite trust the torque wrench right now. Okay, yeah, those seem good. All right, then there's a little bit of excess out here at the side. But while I have it on its side, I could install some of the other components on here. All this bag, the fork, boot, and this little thing. And then that bearing gets replaced with this bearing, sort of climb. This way, or this way. I would assume this way. Yeah. Okay. Alright, boot goes back in. It's a lot of old grease on it. Cool. And then this is a 15, no, 17. Yes. 17. Put some blue on it. I don't know if I'm given a torque spec for this. Probably should check. 26 does not have a torque spec on it. Okay. So probably just good and tight. Yeah, it won't turn anymore anyways. Okay. Good. Alright, so that's on. And that ball gets some grease on it. There's some of this high temperature stuff that came with the kit. Pretty sure this gets a healthy amount on it though. Now, and I think I'm supposed to add a little bit to contact areas. Here and here, just a little bit, not a lot. Add a little bit more in here. This area might just be low temp stuff, but you know, we have a little bit of this left over, right? Yeah. Alright, so then this. I need this. Probably good. Okay. That. So then we stick this through here. And bearing on. And then this should have snapped right in. I think it did. Cool. So the little clip snapped over the ball piece. And there we go. I didn't know that rode on the outside of it. Well, in that case, do we have anything left in here? Since that rides on the outside of this, I'm gonna add a little bit, just a little bit. A little bit of this goes, I think, on the... That's all ready to go. Cool. And now we deal with the top. The latch broke on this part earlier, so it was already broken. Need a new one. This is why I kind of, well, not this, but the initial part where the latch broke, it was because it was all the way open and sitting on the ground for so long that eventually got hit by something. I wish these were designed so that the lid came off. If the lid came off, then I could not have to worry about damaging it as much, but yeah. Oh well, it's now just a open box. Next, I need to clean up these parts, prep the surface. prep that surface, and assemble the rest of this. Shaft here, and we're going to replace this part entirely, because I got a new one of those. It does have a bolt there, so I guess you could take this off the shaft entirely if you needed to. Have a spring and a C-clip. Internal parts. I do need to have this prepped though, because this goes on with the top part. Okay, so that's ready. Bolt gets replaced with a part. All right, so the new parts. That bolt should be 17575, so I think it's one of these. I think I got two just in case. Oh, I got two of these because there's one on either side of this rod, but the one on the other side is fine. I'm not removing that. Hold on, what up? It's not even the same bolt. Am I sure it's not this bolt? Appears to be the same pitch. Maybe they used the wrong bolt when they tried doing that. But this should thread into here then. Yeah, okay. And then this is the new of this. So don't think orientation matters. Just give it a dry wipe. This actually gets installed before anything else. Oh, that's what this bolt's for. This bolt is for an external piece here that doesn't show in here, but this bolt is for the bolt that was missing initially. So it should thread in. It should thread into this, and it does. Excellent. Stream's all jittery, isn't it? How bad? Pretty bad. Let me make sure I'm not skipping any crucial parts in the instructions here. There's a special SST and hammer for that seal. I did not do that. Torsion spring assembly note. Install the torsion spring to the shifter lever as shown in figure. I'm sure that'll make sense in a minute. That seems to be the only other. No, okay, baffle plate, breather, levers. Okay, the breather's already in. We didn't remove that. Although we're supposed to replace it. I tried to order a breather valve, which is this little thing here. You're supposed to replace apparently. I couldn't get it. So there's more stuff we didn't remove. So there's this piece. I did not remove that. There's this little plastic piece here that I probably should have replaced at some point. Oops. Did not replace that, or I did remove it and clean under it, but then put it right back. And there's a rail in here, held in by a bolt. There's this little thing up here. So some of the stuff I'm not doing. I'm gonna go ahead and install that little bearing piece that was not correctly installed last time. A little bit of oil to it. Fits in here, just like so, and we grab our new bolt. Don't want any oil on this piece if we can help it. Make sure it never backs out. Okay, that's more than enough. Line it up, stick it in, screw it in. It's a 12. That's not a 12. 13. There we go. 12. And what was the foot poundage? 13 to 16. A little bit of excess bed rocker. Clean that off a little bit. And that's probably the reason I had all that slop in there before. So now that's installed correctly. Shift rod, and shift lever, then torsion spring. Let's go like that. Okay, cool. Make sure the surface is at least close to ready. I know it seems I keep doing the same thing over and over again when it comes to cleaning stuff and blowing stuff up, but yeah, it's because I am. Make sure this rod's nice and oily, except for where those threads are. All right, so these three pieces go in together at once somehow, and we're going to figure out now. Yes, maybe? Not that way. So I remember the spring being on this. It has two slits. Am I even doing any of this correct? I'm guessing the spring holds it on somehow? I might have to look at old footage. I don't remember. I actually might have the spring upside down even. Yeah, because there's one lower than the other. I think that's upside down. I think this is upside down. Straighten that out. I'm going to put you guys on hold. I reset the camera. I'm going to look at old footage and make sure I have this oriented correctly. All right, cool. We're back. So the way this works, the spring here, the part that goes on top is the one that is the shorter one. Shorter one goes on top. You can go ahead and put the clip on. It's supposed to be this loose apparently. Okay, clips on. Have it greased up to here-ish, and then that all clean and dry for that other piece. But this needs to separate between these pieces here and then into the little grooves in here on the respective part. So I'm not quite sure how to do that, if I can do that by hand or not. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's not too hard. Right, so we have, try to give you guys a good angle, so I have that going on those. And I got a plastic piece because that was dirty. Slide these in, and hopefully they go in the correct spots. There we go. Feed it in there. And that's that. Cool. I'm surprised that's as loose as it is on here, to be honest. But I guess that's just the spring, which would be 13. 13 says yes. So next we install this. We gotta make sure we install that while we install this. And we gotta make sure we prep. Make sure all the prep surfaces are clean and ready to go. And ideally, I would do a dry run, make sure it all fits together correctly. But I think we're good. And I think I'm going to apply it to this side because I have plenty of room over here. 3 to 5 minutes on this. We'll apply it to that, I think right before we start putting this on here because it takes a minute. Oh, right, both sides. Okay. And that should hopefully stay. Do not fall. Stay. All right. That was quite a bit there. That was pretty sloppy, but I think we're okay. Okay. All right, so now orientate this correctly and get the two poles in the right spot. Okay. Let me carefully try to press it down without moving it too much. Oh, we got the dowels, that's right. Dowel pins probably should help. Okay. Oh, shoot. Forgot that piece. This piece needs to go on with everything else or else it doesn't fit. So, for that. Okay, no worries. It didn't cure yet, I hope. If it did, that'd be really fast stuff. Okay. Okay, that's on. Let's go ahead and push it back down. Theoretically, those springs should be engaged, right? Still. Do I have to start over? Don't want to start over. Okay, that's on. This is down. Didn't torque it yet, so it's not like it really seated in there, but okay. I have 2 brand new bolts here. I don't know why I ordered these, but since they're brand new, might as well use them. Don't have to clean them off or anything either, so that's great. I believe these are all 12s. That's fine. Okay. Oh. Right. Duh. There we go. I really hope this seals correctly. This bracket's supposed to go on that one. Well, it goes off. Run these all down. Then I'll back this one out. And these all get torqued down to, does not say. Excellent. All right, they get torqued down to mystery. The best kind of torque. 13, 17, 18, 12. Excellent. All right, I think we're good. Let's double check. Okay, those are on nice and snug. And hopefully that doesn't leak. Seeing a lot of it on the outside here gives me hope. That means there's enough to squeeze out. But not a lot out, so it's not too much. Just need to install, I think, the sensors and the shifter and that plug. Yeah. So, red thread lock on it. So, that didn't seem to have any on it. That might be why it backed out. All right. Ooh. Okay. All right, I think that's also a 12. (24 to 33 foot-pounds). Pretty darn tight. Okay. That is on there. Cool. There we go. I got an actual gasket for the top piece here, so I don't have to worry about gasket maker on it. Empty, empty, and springs, extra springs. Cool. It's good when you have extra parts. It means you ordered enough. And it definitely doesn't mean that you forgot to install any, right? Right? Alright. Oops. Won't be needing this anymore. Alright. And then we have the 2 sensors that I do not remember which one goes where. Are these threaded the same? No. Okay, can't mix them up. Good. might just add a dab of thread lock to these, although they probably don't need it. Just a small little bit. And I don't think I could torque these if I wanted to. Good and tight. That's what we'll go for. Here we go. I should have 2 of these. I don't know what happened to the other one. And I might need the other one because the other one's smaller. 2 by hand here. I don't know, maybe I should put thread sealant on these. Maybe I should check the manual to see if I need to. No, I do not. The one is 23 to 28 foot-pounds, and the other is 26 to 34, so pretty tight. Because I don't want to have to remove the transmission lead at all. So, okay, new plan. We're gonna put a little bit of thread sealant on this, which I did find. Theoretically, these go in until they hit the bottom, but I don't know. Maybe I can attack it from this angle. Oh, that kind of works. Nope, that does not work. Oh, that's not a good sign. Ah, that's why I was spinning. Because the sensor broke. Well. I guess I have to order another part. But yeah, that sheared right off. Bummer. Which one is this? I should have known that was a little too tight. Then again, this part has been messed with before, so I don't know, maybe it was damaged previously? Could have been? I don't know, could have been. 22, which is the neutral switch. We don't need that. Short that together and let the car, you know, try to start when it's in gear. That's fine. Bummer. All right, well, we'll install the speed sensor now. A little bit of oil on the oil ring, or the oil ring, the ring seal. And maybe a little bit on the teeth here. Okay, stick that in. And it's one 10 millimeter bolt. I'll put a little bit of sealant on there just in case that bolt actually goes through. Just tight enough for it to not back out. All right. Cool. Drain and fill plugs. I might as well put the drain plug back in. Don't. Oh, that's what that is. Are these crush washers for that? Ah, why did I get 3 of them? Well, apparently now I have 3 drain plug washers. Cool. Yep, that fits. Well, if they couldn't remove the last one, then I probably can't either, so yeah. Oh, this is the fill, this is the fill plug. This is the drain plug. One spare. See, that doesn't fit as tight, so I wonder if on the drain plug it's just skinnier. Yeah, we'll use some sealant. It doesn't hurt. Drain plug goes in. 20 to 35 foot-pounds. Or not. Well, it's smaller than 27. Yeah, 1 kind of fits on it. We'll put it on 30. Seems really tight for this. I'm gonna back that down a little bit. 20. Yeah. Should be good there. And fill plug later. This wire goes on the little bracket here. Stay out of the way. The brackets for the other wire, but we don't have that yet. I say we put it on its side. Ugh. So we have the turret here. There really isn't much, Whoop. There isn't much oil that actually gets back here. It does get some on the 6-speed, but not a lot. So that's why there's a whole bunch of grease on this part. For a long time, yep. It doesn't feel too rough. It's kind of rough. Debating if the paper seal is good enough or not. Gasket maker plus gasket. Yeah, I guess I could do that. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of grease. Where's my grease? A little bit of grease on this and this. I've replaced the bushing here and the inner bushings inside this piece. At least the end bushing a couple times. I was trying to figure out why there was so much slop in it. Everyone always said, these bushings wear out, so that must be where all the slop is. Didn't take into account shoddy mechanic work, so yeah. All right. Oh, huh. Yeah. Just put a very small amount on this, I guess, to fill in the holes. If you're wondering how I ruined these pants, that's gasket maker on them, not paint. So, I don't remember what project that was from, but yeah. And shift the shifter in there and lock it down. You want to go in? What the heck? There it goes. Okay. These don't matter too much, but... So I've been having this debate in my head. I don't want to shift the gears dry, especially because I've taken so long to put everything together. But 3 liters of oil is a lot of oil, and it will make this heavier. And it's already pretty heavy. And I already have to deal with a exhaust that's still in the way. The debate is, do I put it all in before shifting through the gears, or do I guess regardless, because it's gonna be heavy regardless. So I go off this excess, and I think we're good. Let's shift the gears carefully if I can. If not, I'm not gonna force it. That's not letting me. Yeah, everything's too dry for the synchros to line up easily. Take the knob off. Thank you. Okay, so I think we're back. Sorry about that. Battery died. Plan is to let the seals to cure. After they cure, I'll probably put at least 1 quart. I think, pretty sure it takes 2 or 3. Don't quite remember the amount, but I'm gonna put 1 quart in there after this cures in 24 hours or so. It doesn't actually say how long it takes to cure, at least not the last time I checked it. So well, at least 24 hours for it to cure. And put a quart in it, then shift through, make sure the gears can shift through. The reason I'm not shifting through the gears now is because even though I did put some oil on it before assembling it, it's been a very long time. It's been sitting for a long time, so all the oil kind of just went to the bottom, or the front here, and now it's settling down there. So there's nothing on these synchro rings or anything like that. So I can sort of move this around a little bit, but not a bunch. I don't want to force it, especially without oil. So I'll put a quart in there, slush it around, make sure I can shift through the gears, and then I'll install it in the car. And I did take some time off this week so I can work on this car and other projects, so I should be good there. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I did order new bracketry for part of the car. So that will replace some of the old stuff that's incorrect. Oh, Whoops, I forgot this. Got this last piece to put in. Well, it doesn't look super clean, but I have walking space now, so. Alright, so real quick update here. I dropped the flywheel off at a machine shop today, and they finished it already, and I'm gonna go pick it up tomorrow. So the flywheel's ready to go, hopefully. Unfortunately, I had to take out the bearing, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get a new bearing just in case. So ordered a new bearing, I have to wait for that. But then I was looking through the parts, and I was gonna take a second shot at getting this pin thing that's missing from the, ooh, sorry, that's bright. The group of stuff here, we got to plug the spring, and there's supposed to be a pin, right? So I've been looking at the wrong diagram. I keep forgetting that. I keep forgetting that on the instructions, there's a different diagram, and there's some parts that are not exactly the same as what I have, because the manuals that I'm using is for a different car with a slightly different transmission. Then I looked at the diagrams on the websites that actually have this transmission and all the parts on it. And what you find is this plug, spring, ball. I realized, oh, on my transmission it's a ball, not a pin. So then I looked through my list and I realized I had bought 2 balls of this type, and they're very similar numbered to the other 5 balls. So there's 5 balls plus this one, and this one is different. So I'm hoping I didn't mix them up. There's one with a Y, and then the other is with an A, but the same number. The A ones are the 5 that go inside the transmission. Yeah, so yes. So there's 5 that go in there, and the one that goes with the plug is the Y. So now I have 2 of these balls. I can take one, I have an extra now, and stick it in there, and hopefully it'll be correct. So I actually might try to do that right now. So let's tilt this over. So it's the plug that's on the passenger side, right here, that's kind of facing out at an angle. I'm just gonna take a peek in there. All right, so I see a notch at the bottom, and the hole itself looks pretty straight all the way down. Okay, so I'm just making sure it's not I'm really not supposed to put that pin in there because yeah, I don't want to lose a ball in there. Putting the ball in the hole. Let's grab the spring. Putting the spring in the hole. Then this plug we're probably going to replace at some point because the threads on it are ruined. So I'm just going to put a small amount of thread sealant on it. Stick the cap on. This is a T40. Yep. And we're just going to do snug. Very, very lightly snug for now. Hopefully we can replace it later, only if we need to. So that's that. So now literally, only thing for this I need to put on this before putting it in there is that plug. So I ordered a new pilot bearing. That'll hopefully be here soon. Ordered a new sensor. That'll probably be here sooner. I have to pick up the flywheel from the machine shop. I still also have to, I think, pick up a bolt or two for some of the bracketry under the car, but that can wait.